Guest. This young lady is much needed for anybody that is in the restaurant business, because I tell you, you go to a restaurant and sometimes the food may be great, but the experience is not.
Yes, exactly.
It's lacking. And then, of course, if you're behind the scenes, the owners are very stressed out because they need your help.
That's right.
They need your help. So Miss Asia Beard, she has her mission is to help startup and existing restaurants achieve excellence in food safety, food cost, and data operations. She's currently offering one-to-one consulting, and she's an instructor. She teaches classes to help establish getting back on track financially, which is really important for restaurants because they have a very tiny margin.
Yes.
And they need to make sure they're working within their budget.
Exactly.
They're heavily, I do accounting for all businesses, but with the restaurant business, you can't have the business without the labor.
Right.
And so it's really about 55 to 60% labor costs. And then the other part is the food costs, which leaves a very narrow margin for the profit. So you work very hard in order to make money. So you've been in the hospitality industry for over 20 years, and 15 of them were specifically in restaurant management. You've worked in 14 different states, helping establish new restaurants and enjoy putting all the pieces together to make sure that they're successful. Yes. So welcome, Asia.
Thank
Glad
you.
to have you.
Absolutely.
So tell me, what would you say is the biggest pitfall for a restaurant?
Probably
the largest.
I'm going to have to say at least two.
Okay.
One, just jumping in blindly. A lot of the clients that I've worked with have not been in the restaurant industry before. You know, maybe they were in marketing, maybe they were an exec somewhere else, maybe they were just a completely different field, and they think, you know what, I like cooking at home, or I like to, make food for 10, 50, my family members. I'm going to open a restaurant, right? And I just want to really stress to people that cooking at home is very different from cooking for the public.
It is.
There's a lot of different protocols, regulations, certificates that you need in order just to even open the doors. And so I encourage anybody that wants to follow their passion, absolutely do that, but make sure you take the time to do the research, find out what you need, hire a consultant, or if you want to speak to people that are in the industry already, I would even be as bold to say, go work at a restaurant for a little while, okay? And, do that behind the scenes, that back of house work. Go in as an hourly employee and just see what you're getting into.
Right.
So I would say that. And then the other big pitfall is they underestimate how much capital they'll need. Restaurant equipment is extremely expensive, even if it's used. Location is obviously going to be expensive. So there's so many other overhead costs and other costs that people don't think about besides the food and the labor that they usually will run out of money before they can even really get it going. And it's hard to maintain and build your reputation if you're only open for a few months. So the goal is really to do your research, get the information, get the experience, and then also make sure you budget for enough money.
That is so true.
It's
in our community, one of the reasons why our restaurants don't open up on time or close early because of what? They don't have the inventory. They run out of the product. They run out of the,
And one of my pet peeves is going to a restaurant that sells waffles and chicken, and they have no waffles.
Right.
That really is a pet peeve of mine.
Somebody has mismanaged something. And so, having managers on staff and having people that are trained properly, setting up your inventory, par levels, there's so many different tools that are out there that you can use so that doesn't happen. And that should always be the priority of the owner or the operator, to be able to offer a consistent, excellent experience to each guest that comes in, whether you come in when you first start or whether you're coming in 10 minutes before you close, right?
Now, would you say hiring a consultant on the front end or the middle part? They've been in business and they seem to think everything is growing and going, or on the back end where
So I'm going to say you can hire a consultant at any point. I would recommend in the beginning. I'm working actually with Doolin's on Crenshaw. They're partnering up with Kim Prince, who's going to be opening up a Hotville Chicken over in the Crenshaw area.
Wow.
Okay.
So they have brought me on board to help make sure that all the fundamentals are there, because you want to start off right? You only get one chance to make a good first impression. And so if we can get everything, all of our ducks in a row in the very beginning, then it should move along slowly or smoothly. But, not everybody thinks about that. They may not want to spend that money on that consultant, and that's understandable. You open up, you start, you're in business, and maybe it's going good for a little while, but then things start to happen. Maybe people get sticky fingers. Maybe things, again, are getting mismanaged, and you're not making the money that you should be making.
Right.
Bring in a consultant, bring in that third set of eyes to start looking at your business, because we're going to look for things that you may miss on a day-to-day basis because you're just so inundated in the actual business. But definitely reach out to somebody who can support you. And keep in mind, consulting is a write-off, so this is not just something that's going to take money out of your pocket. You will be able to write that cost off when you do your taxes.
And overall, it can save you money in the long run.
Absolutely.
And it can help you increase that bottom line,
It can help you
because
increase revenue.
you're not spending unnecessary money
Right.
in areas that can gobble up your capital because you're not sure what you're doing.
Right, absolutely. My goal is, if I'm not helping you streamline your costs or make more money, then you don't need me, right?
Okay.
So my whole existence and why I put this business together is to make sure that you are being successful.
Okay.
So have you ever?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Have you ever run across a company that you felt like you could not help? They were too far gone. Or?
So far, no.
Good.
So far, no. I don't want to jinx myself, because I do believe I will say I've run across companies that I have given advice to, and they didn't want to take that advice,
And what
they
happened to them?
continued. We'll just say they're not doing well.
Right, okay.
And people need to understand, in order to grow, you need to change. If you're doing the same thing over and over again and you're not getting the results that you want, you might want to change and try to do something else, right? Sometimes we can have a menu that's just too labor intensive. So guess what? I might recommend that you cut a few items. Let's run reports and see how much you're selling of everything, and let's start trimming a little bit.
Right.
Maybe you have employees that are running your customers away because of their poor customer service.
Right.
Your team can make or break you. You could do everything right on the back end, but if you've got a cancerous employee who's either stealing from you or is rude to your guests or doing all of this, all of that hard work is going to go down the drain. So I might recommend, we need to bring somebody else in. You need somebody else in your front line.
And would you also recommend regular training for their staff, and that should be on a calendar?
Absolutely.
That we're going to have hospitality or customer service training or understanding what the menus are, and so
I'm a big fan of pre-shift meetings, so even if it's a quick 3 to 5 minute meeting before the shift starts, let them know what your objectives are, the goals are. If there's something going on in the kitchen, specials, have them taste it so they can sell it. If there's something that maybe you're out of, but hey, we've got this going on. There should be a time where you come together as a team and start that shift off right?
Okay.
And then you can also schedule either weekly or monthly safety meetings. You want to revisit hand washing. You want to revisit how to probably store cold items.
Right.
That should not be something that you say it one time when they first get hired and then you forget about it.
Right.
There should be constant reminders, because we are constantly hiring new people and things get forgotten.
Right.
So absolutely schedule some time.
Good point.
And the biggest one is pricing of the product.
Absolutely.
Because the market, a lot of times they don't understand. Big restaurants understand that every item, all their cost of goods, is really the base of the price, and then how they can maximize the profit,
Right.
and whatever the market will bear, right?
Right.
So how often should they revisit that pricing of their product?
So I will tell you, the vendors that they're purchasing from are probably raising prices every year.
Right.
I would get annual notices
Right.
from Coke, Pepsi. By this date, this is going to be your new price. So you should be revisiting your prices every year. But you also want to make sure that you've costed everything out correctly from the beginning. And so I do teach a food cost class, which works through those formulas. I like to start there with a lot of my clients, because so often we base our pricing on our competitor or what we think the value is. I'm just going to sell that for 99 cents. Well, it's costing you 75 cents just to make it. Why, you know? So it takes, you have to take that time. You've got to put in a little bit of math work. There are programs online that you can purchase to help you with those formulas, but you know, you've got to take that time to price it right, because that's where your money is, right? You're always going to have to pay people to work for you, right? You're going to have people to open the doors, so that cost doesn't go away. You have to have a location, so there's always going to be overhead. But your food cost, that's what's adjustable, and so that's where you want to really maximize your profit margin.
Right, yeah. Because even in all businesses, I think they don't go back to revisit.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Some of this information can be applied to business across the board.
Absolutely.
Right. I need to raise my rates. I'm thinking about this.
Yeah, because prices go up. And now, you know, right now we're looking at with what's happening with the tariffs, that's really going to make a big impact in the restaurant business, because of the fact if you're bringing food from, you know, food that's coming in from China, it's going to cost, you know, humongous amount of money now.
The minimum wage increase. I mean,
that was huge. Yeah,
huge for us.
Yeah.
So it's especially because we do have a lot of turnover in our industry. It's just part of the industry. A lot of people see it as a stepping stone to something else, and so they're kind of in and out. And so you don't have high wages normally, but now minimum wage has changed the game on that.
Okay, that's excellent. I actually do a summer biz camp for kids every year, and I'm actually getting ready to gear up for another camp that we're teaching kids. They're going to be in a 12-week program. A lot of times the kids have a food-based business. And so I'd love for you to come out. These kids are in, my summer program is a 3-week intensive, but I do 2 sessions. And then they compete like a Shark Tank.
Nice.
And so we look for individuals to be judges for our kids in order to, because they make money at these camps. And
that's pretty awesome.
I'm gonna have to bring my daughter. She's been on me about a lemonade stand or a cupcake stand. So I'm gonna sneak her in that one.
And then I got a camp that's getting ready to start in October, where they're going to be competing for $5,000.
How old are these kids? Wait a minute. What are they doing with $5,000?
Ages of 14 to 23 years old. My summer camp is from 13 to 18.
Very nice.
So and that camp, the top is $750. But the $5,000 is a team work, and they split the team. So would love to have you come out.
I would love to do that.
So how do people reach you?
All right, you can go to my website, which is Ask Asia. My name is spelled AJA. It's after the Steely Dan album. I'm not named after the continent. I get that a lot. So ASKAJA.com. And my phone number 424-227-2625. So again, that's 424-227-2625. I also work with Pacific Coast Regional, which is a small business development center. So I teach my classes there, and I also do advising there. So if you are a client or you're looking to be a client for that particular group, please reach out to them, and you can contact me through them.
Oh, fantastic. I'm going to have you back to come on and talk about pricing, and that's all we're going to talk about is pricing. I do collaboration with the Los Angeles Urban League, so I do a lot of my classes over there. We actually did talk about having a class on pricing.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's critical.
Yes, real critical. So I'm going to reach out to you and see if you might be interested in coming over there, because we do a lot with the businesses on Crenshaw.
Very nice.
So would love to have you introduce you to them, because they're always looking for
I will say, I know
consultant.
that this podcast probably reaches everybody as well as outside the Crenshaw area. So I will travel. If it's within 30 miles or less, I will come out to you. I'm working with a couple of folks, Tacos Poncitlan in Altadena and Pasadena. They have 2 locations there. They're actually going to be opening up a food trailer, Que Antojazo. So it'll have, Mexican sweets, treats. It's an infusion of different flavors and cultures, or the cultures of Mexico. And then also Abuela's food truck, which is a new one that's going to be a Puerto Rican food truck. And that's going to be run by Isaac Santiago. And so I love to, just have people look out for them, because they're doing some big things, and it's nice to see people start from scratch and move into and grow.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for being on the show. Can you stick around for a little bit so we can get some pictures?
Yes, definitely.
And thank you. This is good information, and the more information that you have to make sure your business is running successful is paramount to making money, actually, and I'm only about making money. So you got to have all the components to make, and all the tools and the professionals that can help you do that.
Can help you do that.
Yeah, so I will be referring you.
Well, thank you.
Yes,
Appreciate that.
For sure, because I have quite a few businesses.
Is that your card?
Yes,
That's cars. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break and bring up our... We just had an action-packed day today, didn't we?
Yes, I'm tired.
But this one's going to be pretty special, and I'm excited, and a little male energy.
Hopefully he brought his machine so I can really see how this voice works.
Yeah, I think he does. I think I see it. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll make the change out here with our guests, and we'll be right back. You're tuned in to the Business Zone with Crystal Gilbert.
And